guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is AkuaB and here on this channel I cover all things faith, lifestyle and beauty related, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a mini story time about my first year as a Christian. The ups, the downs and everything in between. So before I get into the video, make sure that you like this video, comment something encouraging for another viewer down below, and also make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get straight into it. Okay, so as usual I've got my notes on my phone, so let's start off with a bit of backstory. So when was I saved, and also how was my church life in the months before university? So I was saved in the summer of 2019 and I got baptised in the same year on June 2nd, and my church life in the months before uni was just so fast paced and so action packed, but I would also describe it as a breath of fresh air. So at the first few months when I was saved, I started to just go to church on my own, and then I started to get involved in the YA nights. I started to go to those, and I also started to go to a life group, like a small group for the church, and that was really good. But then I didn't want to get too much more involved because in like a few weeks I was going off to university, so then I decided to look for a church in Leeds. Okay, so this is where the loneliness part of the title comes in, because I was moving from a city that was kind of like my bubble. It was my home church, I knew the area, I knew the people, and then I was being picked out of that pond and dropped into an ocean of a completely brand new city, brand new people, and I didn't know the area. So I remember wanting to go to church the first week that I moved in, but I wasn't able to because I moved in on the Sunday, and that was obviously when church was. So I was really upset about that, and that just added to the loneliness because then I had a whole another week before I could even go into a church and really get to know people and start to form bonds and friendships with people. So I was really upset about that. But to kind of break out of that, I messaged my accommodation group chat, like my halls group chat, and out of hundreds of people, one person responded when I asked if anyone was down to go to church. So I found a church that was similar to my home church in my home city, and I started to go there. So within that 3 months, there was around 3 months from like September to December-ish that I didn't really branch out. I didn't really try and like join a small group or anything like that, because I was just trying to see if the church was a fit for me, and also if I just genuinely enjoyed the people and the vibe and stuff. So being essentially alone, it was hard not to slip into worldly ways of fun within this 3 months. So within this time, I had no real community of faith. I was doing it all on my own. So in this time, I built up a really strong personal relationship with God. And I just want to let you know that if you feel the same throughout your uni or your life in general, know that you are not alone. God uses that so he can be so much closer to you and build a more intimate relationship with you. Okay, so this part isn't in my notes. I just wanted to add it in because I realised it was missing, and it's something that is so important. So within this time, September-ish to December, I was diligently praying for a God-fearing community to come into my life, and I realised that all of the interactions I was having at church just weren't sticking. So I would go into church, the pastor would say like turn around, meet your neighbour, like greet your neighbour, all of this stuff, and we would do that, and then we would talk at the end of the service, but then we either wouldn't go to the same services or we would go different days and stuff like that. So it just never happened to stick. So I remember one night after Christmas, it was a church at 6, like a late church kind of event, and I went and I met a girl, and we just started sharing our testimonies and just talking after this event, and just hung around for a while just getting to know each other. And this was also the day when I met my life group leader, and that was just so fruitful and just so unexpected. Like God will literally just drop what you've been praying for just right in front of you, and you just won't have a clue that it's coming. So that was just so amazing to experience something that I've been praying for a while to actually come to fruition. And that is how I started to get plugged in to church and just flip the loneliness that I'd been experiencing for such a long time. Okay, so now I'm just going to list off some things that I'm going to do in my second year that I didn't necessarily do in my first year. And this should be helpful, especially for new students in the midst of this virus, because a lot of lectures are going to be online, so it'll be harder than ever not to feel loneliness. So the first thing that I would say is to immediately plug into a faith community as a priority. So for example, a small group or a Christian society or a Christian union, because this is the place where you're going to get enriched, you're going to get encouraged. And I can't say how much it helped me in those first few months where I was in a completely new city, I was on my own, and just going to church every Sunday was just the thing that kept me going. Like just seeing other Christians, just interacting with them, getting to know them, and eventually being plugged into the church. So definitely don't skip that, because it's definitely a priority and something you want to do as soon as you get to your uni city. If not beforehand, do your research and try and find a church that you like that is maybe similar to your home church. So the second thing that I would say is join a Bible study in your area. So this is something that I want to do. I'd like to do Bible studies on a more consistent basis, whether that's online or in person. I just love going through the Bible and just really studying, contextualizing it and just really understanding it. The next thing is to actually leave my house, because I know it's a bit difficult in this time, but in first year I stayed inside a lot, and I think that I'm definitely going to try and get out more this year, and this ties into the next point, which is say yes more. So there's going to be a lot of plans, there's going to be a lot of events going on during the year, especially at university, so make sure you take advantage of those, use those to make connections, interact, and yeah, it just should be fun, and you'll have a lot more fun than you think you would when you're sitting at home 24/7. And the last one is to be more bold and forthright with my faith. This opens up dialogue and allows others to learn the gospel as I enjoy sharing it. Win-win. So this is something that I'm definitely going to do, and I have done in the past, but maybe just not been as articulate or bold, but I've made it a goal to become more biblically literate during this year, and also to just really educate myself on not just the Bible, but like the figures of the Bible. Like for example, I didn't know that, I learnt this from the Bible commentary from David Guzik. The Bible is actually more historically accurate than any 10 pieces of historical literature, like ever, like any 10 pieces of historical literature put together ever. So I just love learning little bits like that, and it should be good to really educate myself and just to know more about my own faith. Okay, so just to wrap up this video, I want to leave you with Isaiah 41 verse 10, and it says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." So I just thought this was such an encouraging verse to end on, because especially with the topic of loneliness, we can just feel that we're so alone and we have to do everything for ourselves, but we have to remember that God is ever present and he's a present help. So we can always rely on him, and he's always with us, no matter how lonely we might feel. Okay, so that is the end of today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like down below, make sure to leave an encouraging comment for another viewer that passes by, and also make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in my next video. Stay blessed and bye!